welcome to ConCarolinas Television. I am Bronner, and I'm here without the lovely Ray this evening, but I do have two wonderful individuals that have, um, kind of joined the CCTV team and have really just disassociated themselves with other, rando people.
I was about to say I got claimed. I didn't.
Yeah,
I
she
did not
didn't. Yeah,
disassociate.
that's
I got
true.
claimed.
Yeah, we did.
Ours was mutualism. We
We
found
did
each
like
other, Bronner.
we did find each other, but I did human traffic
Yes,
Buttercup.
that is accurate. That is
You heard it
actually
here,
accurate.
folks.
Yeah, now the feds come knocking at my door. I'm gonna deny everything. So.
I basically got voluntold that I am now part of this family, and I was like, okay.
And everything that I put advertisement wise, I always put CCTV's Buttercup. Just turn the screws a little bit. It's fun. It's dandy. I'm going to start to do that with Nick there. But why don't you
Go
introduce
for it.
yourselves, and we'll start with the beautiful Buttercup. Tell us who you are, what you do, and why you're here.
I am CCTV's Buttercup. I am the infamous trivia host. That is my favorite role ever. And actually, we have a trivia coming up, don't we?
Yeah, I think it's the first week of
November 3rd, I
November.
think ish.
Yeah, yeah,
All
yeah,
right.
yeah.
So sorry, I got to at least promote myself.
Very
So,
nicely done.
yeah, Buttercup, the trivia host, and I will be back in a couple weeks. So but yeah,
If not sooner.
if not, yeah, if not sooner.
'Cause
Actually, I am sooner. I'm scheduled for all kinds of stuff. I love you guys. I get
Aw,
voluntold, and I'm okay. I'm here.
right. And who else do we have with us? Surprise, surprise.
Yeah, I know, right? It's like I'm here all the time. I might as well just like live here. I am CCTV's Nick. I promise I am here of my free will. I'm here. I guess I'm filling in for Ray, right? Helping co-host. I'll be here for the next 2 weeks in
Yeah,
that role, kind of, sorta. Yeah.
yeah, and I mean he's going to be a regular part of the show, as is Buttercup. So we need a bigger team because we're just growing a little bit too big for our britches. Britches? Is it britches or
Bridges,
britches? Yeah,
bridges.
like
There's
the
a
pants,
TCH,
right?
but it's
Yeah,
BRITCH.
yeah,
Bridges.
britches. Britches need bitches.
So
Or wait, britches need stitches? I don't know. Something. Go
bridges
ahead.
need stitches. That makes sense. But yeah, no,
Bridges
definitely,
needs.
and a good problem to have. I'm happy to be here. I've been assisting with CCTV. It's definitely a thrill and a pleasure. Some of you in the audience might know me from Vanguard the LARP. I am a plot member and board member there. I'm into role play. I'm a multi hyphenate nerd. You probably know all of the things I'm into if you know me, but like video games, role play, tabletopping, comics, etc.
Yeah, it's good stuff.
Hey
Tune
Hope.
in,
Hey
you'll learn more.
Calvino. Hey Sean.
How come I don't have the chat? Let me look at my chat. Where's the chat?
Captain Icon. I'm not sure who you are, but hello.
Captain Icon is Shane. Hi, Shane.
Oh,
Hi,
hi Shane.
Calvino. Where is the chat?
Riches need riches. I like it, Calvino.
Yeah, britches need
I like it.
britches. All right.
This is why you're on my
So,
team. I don't care who else wants to claim me, but this is
hello.
why you're on Buttercup's team.
Are we
All right.
drafting people?
We are. We're always
Oh,
constantly
We
sweet.
drafting
are.
people.
We always fight over our friends, which is not a bad thing.
No, I mean, they're different day friends are different types of appealing, I think. I mean, some of them are cerebral, some of them are fun, some of them
Free
are all in
therapist,
one. Some of them are what do you call them? Front porch therapy?
porch therapists.
Just porch
It's
therapists.
porch
Yeah.
therapy.
And then we've got the whole other side of the spectrum, which is like a Ruggs and Dondero and Ray that just seem and Sean. Let's not forget
They
Sean.
even us
That
out.
just seem to know everything. Calvino, Jay, just seem to know everything. And then there's the sweethearts like me and Bear and Hope. I mean, there's just all kinds of
Oh, he's
beautiful
about to
people in the
start a
world.
war.
And Calvino is gorgeous. And I still have the picture the hair behind me from
Puffs.
Con
I love his puffs.
is so good.
I love his
All right.
puffs.
So we are doing. What are we doing today, Nick? I mean, tell me what we're doing.
Oh, we are doing Monster Match, which I am so excited for. So, Monster Match, the concept here: 8 monsters enter the ring. Only one can reign as the no holds barred champion, the apex predator among apex predators. We've got, what is it, 4 rounds or 4 matches for the first round. Then we have a semifinals
3 rounds.
match. Three rounds, 4 matches, round one, semifinals, 2 matches, and then our finals will decide our winner. And we have some really wonderful monsters competing in this. Bronner, would you like to tell us who our competitors are?
I think let's let it be a
Let them go.
surprise to the
Okay.
audience. So we'll
Can-
just
Can I
go
just
ahead.
tell everyone now
Uh-oh.
that my knowledge goes not much further than James P. Sullivan?
Mike Wisnowski.
Where is Mike Wazowski? Please tell me. he's
What's
in
his
this
name?
match.
Is it Wisnowski? Wazowski?
Wazowski.
Mike
Mike
Wazowski. Yeah.
Wazowski.
All right, fine. I've been corrected again.
So
And Rachel's not even here. So
she can't even. She
Huh?
can't even like stop this mess
and
from
she's
happening.
always right. She's always right,
I mean,
and she's not here.
I understand the confusion though. It was a plot point that like his name was hard to pronounce, and so a little girl kept saying it wrong
Mike
like the whole
Wazowski.
movie.
Oh.
Yep.
Can
Even
somebody?
Yeah, we can keep going about Monsters Inc. all night long.
Can,
Yeah, welcome to
can,
Monsters Inc. the podcast.
can
You're
someone
welcome,
tell me?
Pixar, for the free advertising.
Right, like they need it, but in any case, how do I actually look at the chat on that split screen that you created a monster and I tried? It should just come up, right? But it's not.
What just happened?
Yeah, normally for me it does too, but I'm also not seeing it. That's weird.
Okay.
I have no tech but what I'm here. That makes
Okay,
me
and
happy.
in any case, so now let me just close that window out. And I just want to make sure we're keeping, since Ray usually keeps charge of the chat, or takes charge of the chat. We're going to leave that up to you there, Buttercup, to let us know if the chat is interjecting with something, because I really can't see because I'm old. So just please let us know what chat wise is going on.
Okay. I also figured it out too, so I can help out. Right now we've got
Yes, dear. I got you, boo.
Calvin O'Drifto has money on Godzilla. I have some bad news for Calvin O'Drifto.
It's an automatic loss.
My money
Oopsies.
is still on Sully. I don't
I
care
will
who
say,
you are.
Isn't
so our monsters are all roughly the same humanoid size, so that like one can't just step on the other. I think that was done
they?
mostly for fairness' sake, kind of.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, obviously, that would just be absurd. Pit like Godzilla up against Sully, for instance.
Sully's a big gentle giant. I don't want to hear it.
All right. I mean, it's possible, but let's get into this. Let's start with a round one, and our first matchup. And I have lost the entire screen, so I don't know what people are seeing right now. But the first matchup, let's see if they have that. Technical
I can see
difficulties.
the
Okay. So if our illustrious producer would be so kind as to put up those monsters. No, I just want to flashbang the
I got you.
monsters.
Straight out of Transylvania, with pale skin that doesn't sparkle. Okay, it doesn't sparkle like
No
glitter. These are not
sparkling.
Twilight vampires. They're good vampires. Think Castlevania.
Okay.
Spoiler alert! It's vampires. Ding 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 ding
Ding,
ding.
ding, ding.
It
And
showed
our
up. It showed up. It's here.
all right, let me
Versus
versus live from parts unknown and wreaking havoc and terror across the universe. We have alien. It's like a xenophobe alien, just so you
Wait,
know.
wait,
That was some good role
wait,
play. I like
wait.
that.
There are much cuter pictures of aliens. Y'all seen Toy Story, right? We.
Those are actual toy aliens, though.
But
Those
they're
aren't
aliens.
real aliens.
Tell me I'm wrong. They're aliens.
Okay,
They're
but
toys that are called aliens.
not Area 51 type of aliens. This is alien that has the
Talking
and
about squeaky toy.
The xenomorph.
and has the
in Alien
drooling
universe. Yep.
acid.
I'm so gonna
I'm
die in this battle.
Drools acid, has a tongue that looks like its face. Good at sneaking
yes,
up at people, even though it's pretty big.
dropping out of the sky
The
or
gremlins
out of
that
the
are good at
raptors.
rescuing Buzz Lightyear. They're also good at rescuing Woody.
There's not a third window option. Otherwise, I'd give it to you. But but we're gonna focus right now on vampires and aliens. Who's gonna win this match? What do you think? Nick, why don't you start
First.
by just let us know who you think is and why
Okay.
they're the best.
I've given this a lot of thought, okay? Because
I'm sure.
I love Alien. In fact, if you watched last week's episode, you would see that I ranked Alien the top horror movie of all time. So, if you're watching this, all the love for the xenomorphs. They're stealthy.
Hoax
They
is
can sneak up
alien.
on people. They know how to lurk into the shadows. Okay. And a lot of predators work that way in the wild. So they have like a natural predator instinct. Um, they have the ability to make a very lethal version of themselves pop out of their tongue that can like burst through people's heads and stuff. It's done that before. They can shoot acid, which is incredible. They seem to be very strong and relatively quick, quicker than the average person, which is quite the skill to have. Now, vampires, on the other hand, are also very fast. There's a lot of vampire lore, by the way, so I'm going to go with kind of like classic traditional vampire lore, in which they're super strong, they can fly, they can turn into bats. If you watch Castlevania, they can do a whole bunch of crazy stuff. Like Alucard is a half vampire, he could become a wolf. They could use telekinesis to move objects with their minds. Very strong. And their weaknesses, right? They need to be staked through the heart. They're weak to garlic. In some versions, they can't come near anybody with garlic. In some, they're just kind of resistant to it. It all depends. Holy symbols like crosses will burn their skin, yada yada. The reason, so I have to give out the edge on this to vampire for one reason and one reason only. An alien is an extraterrestrial being, which means it is from another planet. It does not have the know how and knowledge of what a vampire is to know the vampire's weaknesses. It has a lot of the same strengths. It's agile, it's quick, it's stealthy, it's a predator. But the vampire has the distinct advantage of having the fullness of a fully thinking mortal mind, and it knows how to kill things. And aliens can be killed by regular things. You can stab an alien to death and it will die. Whereas the vampire needs to be hit in a very specific area with a very specific method. So I have to give it to vampire in this one.
Hmm.
Rant over. Boom.
In,
Mic drop.
interesting argument. Yeah,
Very
right.
interesting. I
Interesting.
love it. I loved it because that made like everything, what little bit I know, like make a lot of sense. And I almost have a clear winner
Okay,
on my end.
so my thing is okay. Let me talk about first. I'm going to talk about aliens, right? Okay, now these dudes are badass, right? Okay, well, first and foremost, they have both been killed by humans. Let's just go there first. Okay, both of them have been killed by humans. All right, and there's another. The sunlight is also a weakness for vampires, so they can only fight at night, right? And vampires don't procreate, do they?
Yeah,
I
they
mean,
do
they
in
can make other
Twilight.
vampires.
They do in
They can
Yeah,
make
Twilight.
other
it
vampires.
depends on the mythos. There's just like one like just
There's
mar
one
on the
little myth that they
reputation
can.
of vampires that we
Yeah.
won't talk about.
Okay. Well, my point being is that, all of a sudden you're fighting one alien and then this vampire, let's call him Ed, busts into a giant hangar at the airport, and it's full of all these little pods that contain more aliens. And quite frankly, that vampire is effed. And I PG-13 that because I really believe that aliens would wipe the floor with the vampire, like almost instantaneously. I mean, probably rip him in half. I don't. Is beheading a thing? Can they just rip its head off, or
So, in a lot of vampire lore, you have to actually kill it either with the sun or you have to stake it to death.
stick it to?
Um, Ripping it in half, I guess it'll somehow like form back together. A lot of times they can go like ethereal into clouds and mist and they'll reform their bodies
Mist.
together. In stupid
Okay.
Twilight, you can just snap its head off like porcelain, which is really dumb, but Twilight sucks, so we're not going to talk about that. And come at me in the comments.
You've
If you think
mentioned it
Twilight's
twice.
great, come at Nick Barone. You can do it. You can hit me up on my page.
Let's not start
Come at me.
arguments.
You've
Come at
mentioned
me.
it twice.
Come at me,
Maybe you're
bro.
kind of a little bit of a
Yeah.
fanboy
Nah, I'm an
situation.
anti-fan.
All right. So I'm
hear you.
going with aliens because I think, like, even if they're just hanging up in the rafters and maybe Pete or Ed or whatever his name is laying down in his coffin and the guy's just dripping acid and he's just dripping acid right through his heart or something. I mean, maybe it'll form back together, but I think there's a distinct advantage there for this dude. Although I don't think he can fly. But can vampires fly and not be in bat form? It's hard to say.
They fly with style,
Yeah, full vampires typically
Like
can fly.
like
like
Buzz
Lost
Lightyear,
Boys.
or like Buzz Lightyear. That's
Like
falling with style.
like all I can see is him going on the ramp.
Right.
We've
So
got
now is it my turn?
we got a vote
Yes.
for vampire, a vote
And
for alien, Buttercup.
wait, what
Hit
is
us
the
with
chat
You're not
thinking?
gonna
Let
hate
me
me
go
Hit us
ahead.
with it.
Argue it.
I hope you're ready. Okay. So, like I said, my knowledge goes as far as Sully. I gotta go with, I think aliens would win for the simple fact that they are not emotionally charged. Look at Hotel Transylvania. That vampire, he loved his daughter so much. He broke and fucked up so much stuff. Like he could not, because he cared about his kid so much. So he did. He was
Yeah.
very passionate about his child. And I love that about him. The aliens in Toy Story, however, they were just worried about getting everyone from point A to point B, but they succeeded every single freaking time. It was a success every time. They would, arm hook and the rocket. They would win. They would win every time. I gotta.
The tenacity of those aliens.
They had
Come on.
I do.
they had no emotional charge, so they just
They
succeeded.
just had a mission.
They had a mission and they just went with it.
I'm asking myself a question, and it's: am I gonna be that guy that points out that the aliens from Toy Story are actually just squeaky toys and they're not actual aliens? And I am because I did it.
But they're green and they're alien. Like you
They're
brought
adorable. I
the
love
wrong
them.
girl to the table.
Oh, as a kid, they were my favorite thing. They were my favorite part of the movie for sure.
So I have to go with aliens.
Yeah, and I really believe that the chat is on the side of the aliens.
They very well may be, but can I bring up just one last point
One
before I
last
seal
point.
the argument here?
Please.
Change my
Is this
mind.
vampire versus alien or vampire versus aliens? Because I've heard a lot of arguments that one vampire would get swarmed by a bunch of aliens. But
Yeah.
if we're talking one vampire versus one alien, I think that changes the game entirely.
Yeah.
So it is vampire
There's-
versus one alien.
Yeah, there's no
So
plural.
in a one-on-one, would the alien get the drop on the vampire? I don't know.
Literally, the drop, though, sounds about right. And can you imagine, like, well, does he have any face suckers with him, though?
So okay, let's think about vampires on Nightmare Before Christmas. They were
What?
also emotionally charged. like when they were asked where they saw Jack last, they were like, we even cleaned out the moat. Vampires are very emotionally charged. I
They
still don't think no.
can
I
be,
think they would make the wrong decisions, and I still think an alien will win.
but in a 1v1 fight with an alien, how much of those emotions are going to show? You
You
know,
know what
Probably all the
I
same.
I think, Nick, what's going to happen is like
I'm going to get
like
outvoted and lose probably.
the vampires are going to walk in on the
I think
alien
vampires are
and
just
going to
because they're
go,
too human.
"What the fuck is that? I've never seen that before."
What the fuck was that?
Well, I think this one was a close one. This one was a toss
It
up.
was
I'm
it
willing
was
to
very
cede this one
close.
for sure.
And
I
I
really
love
only
vampires.
think vampires would win because of emotions, not because of any superpowers or anything else. I think their losing moment is because they are super emotional.
Oh shit. Sean had a point. The resulting um
Alien would be
vampire, yeah,
this
the
is
resulting
crazy.
alien would be a vampire
But
too.
see, now you're just
So it would
adding
be
a
a
twist to the
vampire
mix.
alien.
Then a vampire would still win.
That's pretty awesome.
That is pretty awesome.
All right, so aliens,
I kind of think
yay!
aliens won that one. I'm sorry.
No, you got it. It's 2v1. You guys got it.
All right, so our next matchup, why don't you introduce? Does everyone know who it is or what it is?
I know what it is.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Okay.
I got
This
sent
one.
the list.
This one. When we talk about monster match, you have two incredible monsters. They are full of ferocity. They are acting on pure impulse and instinct. Um, many fighters like to think intelligently. These ones think primal. We've got werewolf versus zombie.
I
Hmm.
got one question.
There goes the zombie.
Rabies. I'm just,
You're bringing up so many valid points. I mean, I just.
Wait. So, hold on.
I got one
Lycanthropy.
question.
Okay.
Rabies. Question mark.
I'm gonna go ahead and assume that neither the werewolf nor the
Nor the
vampire or
zombie.
the zombie have rabies, because werewolves have lycanthropy, zombies have whatever their zombie virus is, right? So they can spread whatever they have to each other, hypothetically.
Yeah, the disease factor will not come into play because they're both diseased or
Yeah.
have immunities.
I have a question though.
Okay.
So a rabies causes a tame animal to act wild. What would rabies do to a wild animal?
They're going to sit down for dinner?
Maybe. Do you know? Has there ever been any video proof of a werewolf getting rabies? Ever? Has anyone ever questioned it?
I've
I'm
never
gonna question it.
Googled that exact question. I've never Googled it.
So, Buttercup, I'm so sorry that our education system has failed you, but werewolves are in fact not real. And now the comments just come at me like, I had a werewolf encounter. Like, I just get destroyed and canceled overnight.
Who
because
hasn't
I'm
read Harry
anti-werewolf.
Potter? Come on, everybody's had a werewolf encounter.
Actually, Remus Lupin was my favorite character.
Lupin
in Harry
was one
Potter.
of my favorites.
Yeah, he was great.
I loved him.
Okay, so let me just
The good wolf.
let me just kind of address the chat really quickly because Dorian Sombra says that their zombies are kind of like the xenophobes. They are pack animals or whatever. They're strength in numbers kind of thing, right? So individually, they're not as strong as a werewolf, right? What zombies are you looking at? Because it really depends on which zombie that we're talking about. Are we talking about the super? I mean, if we're talking about the lumbering zombie that brains that zombie, probably not going to happen. But if you're talking about like the super speed, like uberly aggressive, like just ripping people's heads off and eating their necks and blood splurting everywhere, I mean, that's
And what
kind of
about
where
the
I'm coming from.
zombies What
So
about the zombies that are smart enough in Wreck-It Ralph to go to meetings? Being
I
bad is good. I am bad, and that is good.
there's a lot of like
What's the
Disney
mantra?
references happening here.
Right.
I'm noticing a trend.
There is
I have
absolutely
a
100%.
5-year-old.
Oh, well,
All right, Nick, give us the
okay.
rest of your lowdown.
So when it comes to there's a lot of like obviously these monsters have been portrayed in different media in different ways. So I think the most fair thing you can do is kind of take the average of all their showings because like in some instances werewolves have been like god, like they're fucking god. Sorry, f bomb, god tier. They can do incredible things, and same with zombies. So I have to kind of average them out and go with like the basic standard of the two. Um, but even if you're going with fast moving or slow moving zombies, I think in this case, the argument really doesn't matter. We're talking about a one on one fight. And a zombie could get a bite in and potentially infect a werewolf and turn it into a zombie werewolf. But before that's going to impact the werewolf and turn them into a zombie werewolf, the werewolf is already going to have to rip that zombie to shreds. Werewolves are super strong, they're super fast, they have an incredible sense of smell, they act on primal instinct. Zombies do the same. Zombies just want to feed, werewolves want to kill. That werewolf is going to tear that zombie apart, and that zombie is not going to even see what was coming in the first place. Um, I've got to give this to Werewolf. I don't see a scenario where a zombie could truly win. The best shot the zombie has is getting a good bite on that werewolf's shoulder or something while the werewolf is tearing it apart. That werewolf eventually becomes a zombie, but it's still a werewolf. And that zombie is no more. It is kaput.
But is that a win, like for the zombie, if he becomes a zombie werewolf? Is
Still
that
a werewolf,
that's
and
his goal?
that
Really,
zombie doesn't exist anymore. No, that zombie's goal was to eat that werewolf's brains, and that
that's true.
zombie is done.
That's true. That's just true. Okay, yeah, that's true.
That zombie is
Yeah.
bad sushi.
I have seen a world where werewolves and zombies wrapped presents and were very happy about it to save Christmas at Halloween. Like
they all live
they
together in
wrap
relative peace and harmony.
presents and they live happily ever after.
There's no fight. They love each other.
Everybody's on the same course. I got nothing.
Yeah. The only thing that I like about the zombie aspect of it, now it doesn't kind of probably won't sway anybody's boat, but the werewolf would have to strike at some sort of precision to actually sever the spinal cord, right? So, or take the head off. So even if he like ripped him in half, that zombie has the potential still to like take a bite out of the werewolf, or just to crawl up all up on his back and just start eating them or whatever. Um, so unless you can assure me that that werewolf has got enough precision that he's going to rip off that neck by or that head by chance or by intent, then I don't know if that's a win. I'm thinking like a stalemate.
I'm thinking rabies. So when the werewolf bites the zombie,
Yeah.
is it rabies?
So the werewolf bites the zombie to
I'm
try to
really
infect it
concerned
with
about rabies right
lycanthropy,
now.
right?
Like
Okay.
I need some education on the
There
rabies.
now, I don't know about
On the
rabies because
rabies.
I don't think either of them have rabies,
I
but I
really
do
need
think
to
there's
figure
an
out about these
interesting
rabies. Can we
conversation to be
Google
had
it?
about like could a zombie be infected with lycanthropy? And my guess would be no because it's no longer a living being and it doesn't have the same like level of blood and neurocapacity that a human would have that could
Right.
make it a
I don't think
werewolf.
it. Yeah, no, a zombie could not get
I don't think
rabies.
it could become a werewolf. But I think that a werewolf could become a zombie.
I I
Why do
unfortunately agree with that.
well yeah, and also Sean asked why did the werewolves have to have the thing?
You're
It's a
breaking up,
what if.
Bronner.
Yeah, a little bit.
Am I?
A
Yeah,
little
a little
bit.
bit.
I don't know.
It
How
just
about
went
now?
shoddy for a
Can you hear
second.
me now?
Repeat your sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm just saying that Sean had said that why do werewolves have to have rabies? I mean, is there?
They don't
There's not
have
a
to. I'm
law.
questioning it.
They don't.
I've
They
never
they
heard it.
historically have
I've
I'm a
never heard it.
woman.
lycanthropy, which
I
is the
question
disease that makes
everything.
them werewolves or virus or whatever the hell you want to call it. Um,
Lucian.
I okay, so I see your point that a werewolf would be attacking mad and it would scatter the zombie, and if the zombie's head flew off in some direction, that zombie is still technically there, right? It's a zombie, so it's undead, so it's not dead and defeated, but it's also an immobile head, and I think at that point the werewolf's
Well,
won, right?
I think the head is yeah. Well, I think if you sever the head, it's dead. But
Okay.
Okay.
if it's like half a torso and it's still crawling at you, like Walking Dead, a la Walking
I was
Dead
about
kind
to
of
say
thing.
The Walking Dead, like she cut off the arms and kept the zombies, the other zombies away.
Oh, Michonne did, yeah.
Yeah, Michonne did by keeping them on a leash, and that was effective. However, who has been able to keep a werewolf on a leash? They
That's a
That's a
good
probably
really
should
good
have
one.
gave him
question.
rabies. Then they
Pet
probably would have
werewolf.
calmed the hell down.
Okay, okay. It's 8 o'clock and we have 4 matches to go. So saith the shepherd.
We're losing miserably. Everybody is.
All right,
That's fair.
so werewolf
Yeah, I think that's a
is
pretty resounding win for werewolf.
pretty a resounding win. And try as I might, couldn't figure that out. All right, give us the lead in for the next group.
Okay, so our
Shorter lead
next
in.
group, we have two beings, two paranormal entities brought in from the afterlife. One, a fledgling spirit cursed to walk this realm forever. The other, a demon. Our two entities are ghost versus demon. And I'm
Shanana.
not gonna start this one off. I'm gonna put it on either Buttercup or Bronner. I want to hear what you all have to say about this one because I got some thoughts.
Is there any Disney references to this? Haunted Mansion?
There are.
Hey, Disney's very famous for having the devil in everything they do.
Eh, they are the
I mean,
devil.
okay, so my favorite ghost, and he's not a ghost, he's gelatinous in Monsters versus Aliens. Ooh.
What?
He is my absolute favorite. He's not a
Okay.
ghost, but he is my best representation. He is my team member that I'm pulling to the table.
A
All
gelatinous
right.
ghost. Okay.
He went through walls. He
I'm surprised you didn't talk about Casper.
True.
I could have, but he is way too emotional. I've already went through the emotional BS with the vampires.
What do you don't
Emotions
think
are a
emotional
weakness?
people can fight?
Is that can we like emotions are a weakness? I think like the Green Lantern Corps and all the different spectrums would say that that's wrong because that's like their source of strength and power. But we're not talking about them. We're talking about ghosts and demons. And I am gonna go now.
Yeah, go. Yeah, I got nothing on
This
this.
one is tough because Ghost
Pretty
almost
close
is
match.
too broken because a ghost is incorporeal and it could like any other of our competitors, it can possess, it can drop them off a bridge, it can do all sorts of stuff. Ghosts have been portrayed in most fiction as actually being able to interact with the world, and in Dungeons and Dragons, they can actually do physical damage to you just in their ghost form. So ghosts can do a lot. But the pairing here is against a demon, the one thing that can eviscerate a soul. And what is a ghost if not a soul? Demons are known for taking souls and breaking them. In the movie Hellraiser, the Cenobites go ahead and they take souls and they eviscerate them into nothingness. And even if you go with other lore, demons can just banish the ghost to hell. That's a win. So I gotta go with demon.
Is that a win?
Can you
Oh yeah,
banish the
absolutely.
No.
spirits?
Wouldn't that just be like Mortal Kombat where they're just going to another plane to fight?
If
The
you're
demon would have to follow the ghost to the whatever level
What
of
if
hell that he sent him to, and then they would have to fight there.
I feel
That's
like
what
not
if
a
you're
win.
jealous?
a ring out is still a win.
Nah, I disagree because look at how like you're going to contain a xenophobe. Like say, oh yeah, stay in the box.
Well, okay, but okay. So hypothetically, right? The demon curses the soul down to hell, right? And there's lots of different souls in hell, and lots of stuff, and they operate under hell rules. And those things are completely subservient, and they have no power.
Unless they're an evil ghost and become a demon.
I would assume that most souls in hell are evil, right? So they still like the logic
Fair
of hell
assumption.
still has to keep them in check, right? I'm sorry, I'm going like full logic on this thing. I hope that's okay.
Okay. Well, I mean, I guess two schools of thought. You can go with, you know, just an entity that can, move, blow out a candle or move the drapes or whatever, right? And then you have a demon that can possess you and right? Your mother sells socks in hell or whatnot. But if you're talking about like Sean says, one of the ghosts from 13 Ghosts, those guys were badass. I mean, I would venture to say that they were pretty demonesque in that movie. So there's a fine line between a ghost and a demon if you look at it from that perspective. Which obviously, whoever put these beautiful pictures together used 13 Ghosts as inspiration for the ghost. And I'm liking them. I'm thinking they're great, and I'm thinking like, do they really have the power to banish them? Like I don't know that they have that power.
A demon? I mean, in a lot of fiction, they can ferry souls into the underworld. And if they can do that and they have that power, then they can just force shift the ghost and it is no longer a problem. It like can you destroy a
Come
soul?
on.
Yes, actually the Cenobites can destroy souls. So if we're going with Hellraiser demons, those guys can just take the soul, look at it, and be like, "You're done. I'm
Yeah.
going to give you the ultimate pleasure, which is non-existence."
I have a question before I make an argument. Would
Okay.
you guys consider Oogie Boogie the demon in the Nightmare Before Christmas?
Nightmare. Yeah.
He would be the demon, correct?
Yeah.
I mean, he's more of a construct, though, isn't he? He's like a sewn together sack full of bugs.
Yeah. I
That's
mean, isn't
absolutely. But
everybody?
I'm saying in reference to, he is absolutely a sewn
Oh
together
no.
sack full of bugs. But in reference to, he is the demon, right? Okay, so
I don't think Oogie Boogie's a demon.
okay, all right, I'm out of this one. We're gonna leave this one up to the chat. I got nothing.
All right.
But now I'm
I'm gonna.
thinking about all the tapeworms I might have due to eating sushi for years. So
I'm,
So you're
I'm
a
gonna.
demon?
All right. We got to
No.
press on. Press on. I'm
yeah,
gonna. It's fair to say that the demon took that one. Correct.
The demon won that one.
The demon won.
I can
Okay.
accept that.
Demon for the win. I like it. All
I
right.
had no other. I had no other argument except for gelatin.
All right. So if on the next pairing, if you take any supernatural element out of the equation and you're just pitting this against this, who is going to win? I don't want the crossover to happen yet. I don't want I don't want that to happen, but let's talk about it. We are going to go with Jason Voorhees versus Jeffrey Dahmer. Boom. That was a big old boom right there. Okay, so why I say that, let's take the super. Everyone knows that Jason becomes a supernatural entity and even goes to space and all that stuff. But before, like when Ari played him, right?
Oh no.
Dahmer
I
was
know
way
exactly
cuter.
what you're talking
Dahmer
about.
was way cuter. Definitely gonna win. I
Hey,
would have. I would have got murdered by Dahmer way faster.
I will also say that if we're talking Jason
Cuteness.
from the original Friday the 13th, where he's just a kid that drowns and then his mother hallucinates him for the whole movie, then yeah, Dahmer would win that one.
Dahmer totally
But
wins. I would
but
totally get
now hold on
Voorhees.
though. If we're talking Jason Voorhees, we're talking the slasher killer, right?
We are. We
We
are.
are talking the slasher killer. Okay.
I
I
still
got
didn't
real
get
clinical
seduced
on
by
this
him
one.
so fast.
All right. Clinical.
So you said we had to take out all the supernatural elements. So I can't talk about how Jason is either a ghost or he's undead or he's a demon or in one instance he was a cyborg. That's all out the
Right.
window. Okay.
Yeah. All out the window.
Then what I'm going to say is
Just
that this comes down to whose lore is better than the others, right? Dahmer, what was his lore? He
Psycho.
used his sexuality to attract men, and then he would take them and do terrible things to them. And we all know the story. I'm not going to tell you all that. If you haven't, watch Dahmer on Netflix. It's very good.
No spoiler
so
alerts.
good.
But
Evan Peters. Come on.
Jason Voorhees, in all of his appearances, has shown no sexual proclivities at all. Jason Voorhees might be asexual, in which case he would be immune to Dahmer's lure. In fact, Jason Voorhees actually goes out of his way to kill horny teens all the time. He might be just anti sex altogether.
Did
So
you
I
just call
feel
me
like
out? I need you to.
I hope not. I don't know enough. I hope I didn't, but not on the
You're pretty
Dahmer
much
parts,
right.
right? um, I think that Jason Voorhees makes it his mission to kill that sort of person. So I think Jason would win,
Okay.
even without the demon stuff.
Okay. So real quickly, I think the fact that I've never seen Jason Voorhees experience any pain. So I don't think he has any pain receptors left in his body. Probably after being super soaked in the water for so long, that he's like all of his nerve endings are dead and whatnot. But Dahmer, he doesn't feel anything either because he's drunk and he's got alcohol and he's got a
He's a
chemical
psychopath.
imbalance
Yeah.
He did feel
and he's a
regret. On
psychopath.
numerous occasions, he did feel regret.
Okay. Did he
He
act like
acted
he
like he
felt?
felt
He was a
regret.
great actor. Let's just go. Like he convinced cops that he had rotten pork chops. I mean, he convinced people that he had lawn in the middle of the freaking night. He had lawn clippings in his back seat in garbage bags. Convinced the cops of that. So he was a great actor. So I'm not so sure he felt remorse for any of this. So, and the killer without remorse is pretty
I mean,
interesting
if you could just make
combatant. So
it awkward, let's just make it awkward to deter the cops. I still think he would win. He had a massive level of awkward enough to make everyone quit questioning. Like, oh, that's my boyfriend. You want to go see some pictures? They're like, no, we're good.
right.
You're right.
So he couldn't lure Jason up to take a couple of
I don't think
Polaroids.
so.
Dahmer
All right.
is our intelligent villain, right? He is the one who has a plan. The
Yes.
problem is that Jason Voorhees is a force of nature, and no plan works on that. Like, is he gonna lure Jason into his apartment, and Jason's not just gonna immediately kill him when they're one on one and no one else is around? That's Jason.
Yeah.
Like, he's pure impulse. He's just gonna kill the dude.
Oh,
And
All
also,
right.
Dahmer is remorseless, but so is Jason.
Touche.
this one's tough.
All right. It looks
Jack-
like the chat is going with Jason all the way. Dan, shout out to Dan. He said Jason. Calvino said, yeah, Jason for the
Everyone's going for
win.
Jason.
Everyone's Jason. Sean says Jason. So Jason it is. All right, round 2. Let's go. Lightning
Gotta go,
round.
yeah. No kidding.
All right. So
Play too
I'm
hard.
thinking that we are going to pit.
I would go binge it too. That's great.
No, you have to do this. Okay, so because of the way it's set up.
Yeah, we got a vamp. Yeah.
You want to do vampire werewolf? No.
Vampire,
Vampire Lost.
Vampire Lost. Yes.
Vampire
Alien.
Lost.
Yeah.
Yeah, quit speaking in my ear. I'm thinking though, Alien versus Demon and Werewolf versus Jason.
Alien.
Or do bracket to bracket. extra load. So let's decide, but in a hurry.
I'm good with that.
What's our next match?
Alien versus
All right,
Demon,
our
Werewolf
next
versus
match
Jason. I
Alien
think that's good.
versus werewolf.
will be Aliens versus
Oh.
Demon. Aliens versus Demon is what we got next on the hit parade. Tell me what you think about this one. Why would an alien beat a demon, or a demon beat an alien?
This one, I'm just gonna go with a straight up power level argument. I think the demon's gonna win. I think that like the power of the abyss and hell is so profound. And if you're an alien, you exist in the known universe, and like at least in a fictional world with a hell, right? That's where you're going when you're done and you're deceased. So in order to contain your soul, whatever is down there policing you has to be stronger than what you are. So just pure logic, demon, boom, lightning round.
All right, Buttercup.
I'm gonna say the aliens are gonna win because they have way more teamwork because they're green and they're squishy. And against Sid, Sid is the demon in this said in my mental persona.
In the
Sid
movie
will
Toy Story.
She's got a point.
I love
If
this.
if
Sid will
Sid's the
never,
demon,
ever win against those little green aliens. So I mean,
all I'm picturing is Sid like roped down to the ground, and all of the little
do you
aliens
remember
running
the one with
around
the
him like
head
Gulliver's
that
Travels.
turned and he's like, "Hello," and Sid's like, "Ah."
Yeah. All right. So my perspective,
Aliens.
I would know the first thing about killing a demon. So how is an alien going to figure that out? Right?
That is a valid point.
And Calvino says Buttercup wins. So
Thanks, Calvino.
I think you win like the consistency award. Like every match comes down to like cartoons and Disney movies. And I do love that. Like I appreciate that a lot.
it's the
I really
best.
do.
I'm sorry, not sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Like I really do actually love that. I think that's great.
I think you're wonderful. All right, so Demon. All right, so now we're looking at Werewolf versus Jason Voorhees.
I've watched werewolves wrap Christmas presents. I'm not so good at psychos, except for in my personal life. But we're not going to get into that.
What?
I don't know if that was a vote for werewolves or just a vote against psychos.
It was a vote against psychos. Straight up, a vote against psychos.
All right, so we got one for the werewolf.
Okay,
What do you
I'm
think?
also gonna pull for werewolf. Jason Voorhees has been many things in many different movies. What he hasn't been is a primal instinct monster that is super strong and super fast and can bite your head off. I think that the werewolf would eviscerate him before Jason could draw his machete.
All right, so Calvino and Hope both say werewolf, but
Everybody's on the werewolf.
even though I am going to be the odd man out, I am going to say Jason. And I'm going to say Jason because,
You need to have a valid argument for this.
because Jason will be at the con this year.
Oh, you're making friends.
Yeah, it's a plug.
I get it. All
It's a
right,
publicity
that's
move.
valid.
It's a publicity move. I don't even think it's been announced, but I don't know if we just did that. But I don't know.
Spoiler alert.
Take what you want. I'm gonna wear a mask at the con and be Jason. So, or something else
that's a
will
good
happen.
idea.
I don't know.
No, I'm down. I think
Right?
honestly, if you're watching right now and you're coming to ConCarolinas, bring your Jason mask. That sounds awesome.
We're all
I've
doing
been
it.
paid. Calvino says I've been paid off, and we all should get hockey masks.
Yes.
We really should.
100%.
And just
right
come
now-
in force.
No, wait till November 1st to get them because you'll get them for like $2 at Big Lots.
Oh, I'm just gonna buy a bunch of them. You know, the fix is in.
Just wait till they're on clearance.
All
so
right,
down to
so that's it.
now we got aliens versus.
Oh no,
We got one
werewolf.
more round.
Demons versus werewolf.
Wait, did demons win?
Yes.
Yeah.
I thought the
You're the only ones that talked about that.
That's aliens.
Right.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize I lost so valiantly.
But you won
You
with
did fall.
werewolves, right? So
You
you win
you
some,
you
lose
fell
some.
on that squishy toy.
Okay. We got demon
Bait.
versus werewolf.
Chime
I'm gonna
in
let
at
somebody
the
else
end.
kick this one off.
Demons versus werewolves. Just because, where's my pictures? There we go. There's a werewolf. There's the demon. Wait, there's a werewolf versus werewolf. Werewolf versus demon. Okay, so look at that picture of that demon. I'm just freaked out by it. I think it's a really cool picture, but again, my argument would be the same as to why the demon won the last round over the alien is like werewolves would have no idea how to kill the demon.
I have a
Okay.
very valid point to that. Professor Lupin was smart as shit. He would figure it out real freaking fast.
This is a tough one.
All right.
This is tough. If this was devils versus werewolves, I would say devils hands over fists because devils use knowledge of the world and they lord it over people all the time. They know more than you do, and that is why they win. They make terrible deals. They're intelligence monsters. Demons are more primal. That being said, a demon, like, look at like the Balrog, right? Like that thing is stronger than a werewolf. That thing is going to be able to throw a werewolf into the sun. What is a werewolf going to be able to do to one of the strongest demons? Even the strongest werewolf versus the strongest demon. The demon wins.
Okay.
Hands
Okay.
down.
Now shrink the Balrog down, right,
Mhm.
to a werewolf size,
Okay, fair.
and then put them against each other.
Still the Balrog.
So the baby Balrog is beating the werewolf. Is
Yeah,
what you're
I think
saying.
so.
Okay,
I
so
think so.
basically,
I love werewolves.
So basically, what you're saying is the narcissist wins.
Hard.
Devils, demons, they are absolute narcissists. They will do.
I think everybody on this list was a narcissist.
That's probably true.
Just
And like a
FYI.
But
psychopath.
between the two, the
Or
werewolves are not
both.
so much narcissists. Some werewolves are forced in their position into their position.
Yeah.
So they are forced into their habits. If we're going against habits and monsters and stuff, but demons, their habits are narcissism.
So
Yay
I'm gonna give
and
you
yuck.
I almost want to give you the swing vote because I feel like there have been those times in movies where a werewolf returns to their senses and there's a piece of their like human intelligence
what
that
I'm
can start
saying.
to
Right.
strategize.
Right.
But is that most werewolves or is that like the select few? And so I've
I
still
watched
got to give it
Werewolves
to Demon.
Rat Presence.
I mean, yeah, there is that.
I have watched Werewolves Rat Presence
Yeah.
and sing songs and be a part of a team.
Oh my gosh, I love this.
Team Jacob.
Oh no.
Jacob is sparkly, isn't he?
No, that's Edward.
Oh,
He's
Okay.
the vampire.
There's
sorry, Sean. I love you. Don't quit me.
really quickly. Okay, just to point out, isn't there a demon that lives under the bed in that movie with Fred Savage or whatever his name is?
Oh,
Howie
No,
Mandel,
that's like a
right?
Monsters
I know
Inc.
what you're thinking
No,
of.
that's
Oh
a
my
Monsters
gosh.
Inc.
I cannot remember the name of
It's a
that film,
real
but I
life.
know the movie.
It's called Monsters. Real Monsters, I think, but I know exactly what you're talking about. It was like a 1980s movie, 1990s movie.
But my point is, like, if you took that demon and you took like Lucian from Underworld, right? And you let them fight, who's gonna win that?
So the worst demon ever versus the best werewolf
That's
ever.
like Sully. That's like putting Sully.
That's really stacking the deck.
That is putting my favorite monster on the planet, James P.
Fine,
Sullivan.
let's put him. Okay. Let's put Jacob
Mike
instead of
Wazowski.
Lucian in that role. So Jacob versus Drop Dead Fred.
What? No.
Who's
about, like-
winning,
What
Jacob
about, like,
or Drop
Tim
Dead Fred?
Curry from Legend, right? Because that was a pretty
Fred.
demon.
Oh
I'd have to hand it
yeah,
to
I
him.
love him.
Tim Curry all the way.
Great Big Bear said Jacob. Yay, Team Jacob. All right. So guess what that means, guys?
Who won?
Tim Curry.
Tim Curry, yeah, the real winner.
He's the real winner. But
I'm okay with that.
Demon. I would have never figured that. I would have figured something more like classic.
I'm a little
I was really pulling for
disappointed in our
Dahmer, though.
audience.
I'm not gonna lie.
I am a little disappointed in our audience that they were not more on the Pixar page as I was.
I was hoping, like, so Dahmer
Like-
had this like underdog thing in that everything else was
Right?
supernatural and he's a dude.
I
So, like,
gave Dahmer all the points.
yeah, and a piece of me almost considered being like, let me throw the whole thing and just argue for Dahmer the entire time, but nah. When it comes
All
down to it,
right.
he's a human.
Well, there you have it. There you have it. The winner of the very first, the inaugural Monster Death Match is the Demon. And more specifically, Tim Curry from Legend.
You act like you won something. I love it.
No, I just love demons. Like, woo!
I love demons.
Lucifer,
I love them.
woo!
I love
Lucifer.
monsters.
Cheekly Squad, woo!
I love
Lucifer.
that they're gelatinous. Ooh.
I'm really holding out for the next one where we're gonna pit like Casper the Friendly Ghost against Oogie Boogie Man.
Please do. I might actually have some.
The next one's gonna be epic. You were
Oh my
certainly comic relief. All right, producers, who are we rating into tonight? Okay, we are going to raid into all Hope, so please stay where you are, and you'll raid right over to Hope's channel, and they're going to be doing something fun, playing games, doing something. So give them a contagion. Oh, perfect. So give them a look-see and support your streamers. And on behalf of me and the rest of the team, CCTV's Buttercup, take a bow. And CCTV's Nick Barone, take a bow. And I'll take a bow for Ray.
With us in spirit.
And with that, we'd just like to wish you guys a great weekend coming up here. Get freaky, get cosplay. I think there's a toy swap meet at the Comic Monster this weekend, so try to attend that. But other than that, there's all kinds of stuff going on the BSBN. So check out our Discord page and our scheduler, and you can find out everything you need because I'm not going through it all. But they are such great shows and really amazing to watch. So peace and love
Good night.
and all that jazz.
Demon Squad, woo!
Demons!